All right, good morning, Bismarck Mandan. Your local expert today is Dave Flohr. That's me.
Yay!
And we have, as always, Mr. Jim Walsh on the board running the show.
Hello.
And we have two guests today, Jim.
Two
guests. The first one is in studio right now.
All right.
We've got Shirley Glass from the Bank of North Dakota. We're going to talk about student loans with Shirley. But first up, as always, on Dakota Housing Network, we talk about interest rates first up. And you know what, Jim? I was busy this morning. I wasn't goofing around. So I didn't even have time to print out the Freddie Mac survey.
A likely story.
It is a
likely story. Well, it sounds better than the dog ate your homework.
Yeah, sure. But anyway, you know what I can confidently say? Rates are low. Lock them if you got them, as they used to say.
Lock and load.
Right? Lock and load, yeah. If you're buying the house, just lock your interest rate in now. It's low. So anyway, but we want to get started right away with Shirley here to talk about a program at the Bank of North Dakota that's been around for a little while. But they are working on, call it an expansion or whatever you'd like to call it. But it's regarding refinancing student debt, which we've talked about a lot on this show, and how that affects the ability of younger folks to buy a house, which is what we usually talk about here. So, Shirley, you are the Education Market Manager at Bank of North Dakota. What does that mean?
Well, it's an exciting new role for me, actually, and what that involves is all education-related segments that the bank is involved in, which includes college planning, our College Save program, Dollars for Scholars, and our student lending portfolio. All of those fall under my supervision, and we work together to make those programs available for North Dakotans.
I do a College Save account for my daughter. So it's wonderful. Now, I'm going to ask you, now, do we have everybody at the Bank of North Dakota listening today?
Well, we'll find out when I get back.
Okay. Is there anybody we could sing happy birthday to?
Well, not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
actually, on our SharePoint site today, I saw no birthdays.
Okay, well, that's probably a good thing, at least for me. I don't know if you can sing, but I can't. So
I've got some relatives that have some coming up. So if we run out of things to talk about, maybe we could do that.
Sing happy birthday to them. All right. Okay, so the bank has this program. It's called Deal One, and this is about refinancing student loans. So just give us an overview of what it entails.
Great. The Deal One program allows North Dakota residents to refinance all of their student loans into one new loan for convenient payments. Most of the time, they end up with much better repayment terms than they had before. Mm-hmm. And when I talk about repayment terms, I'm talking about things like their interest rates. They're often able to take that down to a lower rate. They have choices between a fixed or a variable rate, and they're often able to take and make that monthly payment more manageable by extending the term, if that's what they need.
Yeah. So what's a typical, I got a student loan from wherever. What's the typical interest rate that I might have today?
It varies depending upon if it's a federal loan or an alternative loan. We've done a lot of research on the loans that we're bringing in from outside lenders, and those interest rates are in the neighborhood of 7% on average. Okay. We've seen them as low as 3%. We've seen them as high as 14%. Okay. But the average interest rate we're seeing is in the 7 to 8%.
Okay. So, and now, this Deal One program, the people can refinance down to what's your current rates today?
If you were to refinance right now and you sign yourself up for an automatic monthly payment, again, you have a choice between a fixed rate and a variable rate. If you choose the fixed rate, you'd with an automatic payment, you'd be at 4.46%. If you choose the variable rate option, you would be at 1.88%. Which is a significant change for most of the people that participate.
Yeah.
I'd also mention that the variable rate has a couple of special features that you don't typically find, and that the variable rate has two guarantees. One is that no matter what happens with interest rates over the next year, if I refinance today, I am guaranteed that my rate will not increase more than 1%. In any given year.
Okay. So, 1% cap per year.
Per year.
Okay.
And we have, in addition to that second guarantee is a lifetime cap of 10.
Okay.
So even though some of these terms could go out for 25 years, no matter what happens with interest rates, again, you have the 1% annually and the lifetime of 10.
Okay. 10% is the max rate you could have. So
correct.
It's not you're at 1.88 today. It's not can't go 10% above that to get to 11.88.
No.
It's 10%.
10% is the
Yep.
cap.
Okay.
Absolutely right.
Which of those two are most people taking? Fixed or the variable?
With the special features that the variable rate offers, we are about 8 out of 10 people are choosing the variable rate.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because there's not quite a 3% difference in rate there.
Yeah. Part of it is what you're looking for too. If you're a person that has a set income and you know that my payment, I don't want it to vary, that's one of the nice features of the fixed rate. You're in, and you know that as long as you pay on schedule, you know exactly what your payment's going to be for until that loan is paid in full. With a variable rate, that can increase or decrease depending upon what happens with rates.
Yeah. And right now, the chance of that rate changing much is probably pretty slim in the next couple 3 years. But so if you're planning on paying off as fast as you can, that variable rate probably be a good deal because you can prepay these, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. There is no penalty for prepayment, and we strongly encourage people to do two things. Sign up for the automatic payment. That gives them a 1/4 point rate reduction. And in addition to that, just paying slightly more. If you're scheduled to pay $240, you'd be amazed what paying $250 does. Or if you're able to afford $300, you can cut your term. If you're set for a payment amount of $240 and you pay the $300 instead, you can cut your term in half.
Yeah. Now, nice thing about this is usually you get a loan, you got to pay some fees, right? What's the nice thing about this loan?
The fantastic thing about this loan is that for North Dakota residents, there is no fee. B&D covers the fee on North Dakota's behalf.
Okay. Now, who's eligible for this?
Eligible. You have to be a North Dakota resident.
Okay.
And no matter what you say, Moorhead is not part of North Dakota. We frequently get people across the border trying to convince us that I am a North Dakota resident.
And not East Grand Forks either? It's got Grand Forks in the name. Come on.
We get that one too.
Okay.
You have to be a North Dakota resident, and you have to have been a resident for at least 6 months. It is a credit-based loan, so you need to meet the credit criteria. If for any reason you don't meet that credit criteria, you are able to apply with a cosigner, and that allows a vast majority of people to be able to qualify for the loan. In addition to that, you have to be out of school, and what that means is if you're still attending school, you're not eligible to refinance until you've completed. So your loans have to be in a repayment status or in your grace if you just finished school.
Okay. So what's a grace period?
Typically, educational loans from the time that you graduate, they give you a period of 6 months to get yourself established. It's called a grace period.
Okay. Right.
So anytime during that 6 months, you're able to participate in this program if you're ready.
Okay. All right. Now, if I move I'm from Texas, y'all, and I did all my schooling down there, and I went to U of Texas, and I'm up here. Am I eligible?
You are. Once you've established that residency and you've been here for at least 6 months, you are eligible.
Okay.
A lot of employers throughout the state are actually using that aspect as a recruitment tool to bring people from other parts of the country to North Dakota.
Okay, well, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back from the break. And Jim, we are playing Heat Wave music today because it's going to get hot out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll be back on the Dakota Housing Network.
Right now, 73.
The Red River Farm Network. Ag News is here on Super Talk 1270.
Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. Bend down, isn't it?
We are back on the Dakota Housing Network with the Love and Spoonful.
Hot town, summer in the city.
Yeah. All right. Because it's a heat wave out there today, Jim.
We're having a heat. Well, it's going to warm up.
It's going to warm up. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's
hopefully
supposed
I'll
to
be
90,
home for
isn't
the
it?
day before the really hot stuff kicks
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, we are here with Shirley Glass, the Education Marketing Manager for the Bank of North Dakota, and we are talking student loans this morning. And we've often talked on the show here about how student loans can affect younger folks buying their ability to buy a house. If they've got a lot of debt, that can certainly be an issue for them. But we've been talking about the deal one, and we've kind of got the terms of it, what the interest rates are. So Shirley, a couple of questions for you. Should everyone do this? If I got a student loan, should I be doing this?
It depends.
Okay.
The answer is definitely not everyone should do it. It really depends upon your circumstances. What I encourage people to do, first thing is to take a good, hard inventory of the student loans that they have and what are those interest rates. Are they fixed or are they variable? And if you have a great rate and you feel comfortable with that, you really need to think about if this is a good thing for you or not. Most of the people get past that first thing because the rates that we offer are so attractive. But some other important qualifiers that I want people to be thinking about is the types of loans that they are consolidating. If they are including federal loans in our consolidation program, I really encourage them to stop and take a long, hard look at the types of loans they have, the profession they're in. There's certain professions, for example, a teacher. Great example that teachers often qualify for federal loan forgiveness.
Okay.
That loan forgiveness can vary anywhere between $5,000 and $17,500, depending upon their circumstances. So I would encourage them to take a hard look. Have they taken advantage of all of the forgiveness that they're, could qualify for? There's another sector, public service. People that work in a public service field, they can qualify for forgiveness after working in public service for 10 years and making payments along the way.
Okay.
So really investigate all of the for type of forgiveness options that are available depending upon your scenario. And the other thing I always talk to people about is that if you're having difficulty making payments today, or your income is such that you're going to have difficulty in the future, I again really encourage them to take a look at what type of loans do they have. Federal loans have special benefits that allow individuals to make payments based upon what they're earning.
Okay.
It takes into consideration how much do they owe, what's their family size, how much are they earning, and it determines what their monthly payment is going to be. It isn't the balance that sets that necessarily. Okay. It's only one of the factors. Oftentimes, if people are in a low-income profession and they have a lot of student loan debt, they can qualify for a significantly reduced payment amount.
Okay.
And after a certain period of time, even those loans can be eligible for forgiveness, any remaining balance.
Okay. So if I'm underemployed, maybe, so to speak, that I shouldn't just jump into this Deal 1 refinancing program because I have these other options. Another question, how about veterans? Do they qualify for forgiveness?
That's another great example. Military benefits and military forgiveness. Oftentimes they will forgive federal loans. That's another sector that we really talk about. And as you go through our process, we have if you're including federal loans, we have this kind of checklist that says, hey, did you think about this?
Okay.
Have you thought about that? Really encouraging people to stop, because this isn't a good answer for everyone. I've had conversations directly with people where I've told them, hey, I don't think this is a good idea for you, and here's why. Obviously, in the end, it's their decision, but we want people to refinance because it's a good solution to them, a good long-term solution.
Yeah.
And if it isn't fitting for them, if it isn't right, we don't want them to participate in this program.
Okay, so somebody comes to the BND and applies for this, you're really doing some counseling up front, basically.
In the form of, we don't necessarily have one-on-one conversations with everybody, but we require them to complete that checklist. And they need to initial and read each one of those and say, if nothing else, that starts a dialogue for those individuals that aren't quite sure. So it has ended up, sometimes people don't consolidate, but we have made them aware of a forgiveness provision that they weren't aware of before.
And that's just as good as giving them a better loan.
That's a win, for sure.
Absolutely. So that's terrific. Now, what are the benefits of using the Deal 1 loan and refinancing my student debt?
There's a number of different benefits. The number one benefit should be that I'm lowering my interest rate. I'm getting better terms. I'm taking loans that might have been a problem for me, and I'm able to refinance those in such a way that my monthly payment is now affordable. The other group of individuals we see are people that maybe aren't having difficulty repaying their loans. They can manage the monthly payment. Their income is sufficient. They're able to do that. But by refinancing at no cost and bringing those interest rates down, we're finding people that are cutting their repayment term in half.
Sure.
At no cost to them. So that's a win too. We hear about those two things all the time. Those should be the first benefits of consolidating. Beyond that, what we hear a lot from people is it's convenient. We have some customers that come, and when they complete the application process, we find that they have loans at 4 or 5 different places. They maybe started out, they've got them with the federal government. They might have some with the Bank of North Dakota.
Yeah.
They could have one with another lender. They change schools, and the school recommends somebody different. So we literally have people that are making loans in 5 different places each month. They're able to bring that all together for one convenient monthly payment. And the last thing that we often hear is, the ability to do business with the Bank of North Dakota. We're local. They know where we are. We have people that answer the phones when they call. And that local service with people you trust is important.
Yeah, you're calling in. You're actually talking to a person rather than going through this big long menu and hey, that person's in Bismarck versus wherever.
Absolutely. They can come to our office. We'll give them our direct dial numbers if they're working with somebody. And I can't tell you the number of times we hear from people how much they appreciate that. Yeah,
especially this day and age. I think this whole customer service thing has kind of turned around a little bit. I think that, we went to all this automation stuff, but now people want that contact with somebody, so... consolidating the loans, that'd be enough for me right there. One payment and I'm done with it. I only got to worry about one place and keep track of one. Okay, I got a car loan and I got a credit card debt. Can I roll all that in? That would be awesome, Shirley.
Yeah. And we often get asked that question, but no, what our focus is at the Bank of North Dakota is educational loans. Okay. So we will look at federal loans, we look at private education loans that maybe you got through your local bank or a large national bank sometimes, agencies that specialize in student loans. We even have some institutional loans that students received when they were attending a specific college, but that's it. It's just educational loans. That's as far as we go. And for the rest, the credit card, the car loan, we would encourage you to work with your local lender.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah. Okay. How long has the program been in place?
Well, that's a great question, and we actually we've done this in phases. We just didn't one day, decide that we were going to do this. We actually started back in 2012 in a very small pilot program with loans that we had at the bank that had been made to parents in the past. They were federal loans, but they were loans that were on our books at 8.5%. And we knew that we could do better for the parents of North Dakota than that. So what we did is we offered those parents the ability to refinance those loans using the same concept, using the much lower rates at no fees. And it was very well received, to say the least. Parents, and the logical question was, well, what about my kids' loans? They have loans too. Can they do this? And at that time, the answer was no. But from the parent loans, we took it to the next level, and we actually had legislation. We worked with legislators, and we got legislation that allowed us to expand this and to offer a pilot program for physicians in rural areas. Okay. And we did that. From there, we went and we opened it up to chiropractors and other medical professionals.
So then you've evolved into this.
All of that went great, and we launched it statewide to all professions 2 years ago.
All right. Well, great, Shirley. Hopefully you'll stick around. We have another guest coming in, but you can stick around. We might have a question for you anyway, because the Homebuilders are coming in next with Dodd-Frank and Tracy back here. So we'll be back on the Dakota Housing Network, and we are going out on Kid Rock.
All summer long.
All right.
Right now, 73.
News and Views with Joel Heitkamp. Weekdays on Super Talk 1270.
All right, we are back on the Dakota Housing Network. Dave Flohr here, and we are coming back with the first class doing Beach Baby.
Yeah.
All right. We had Shirley Glass on before, and Shirley is sticking around in studio. Shirley, thank you very much for talking about the Deal 1 student loan program, refinancing program at the Bank of North Dakota. And if anybody would like to ask Shirley a question, 663-1270, feel free to call in. And we might have another question for you or something. You never know. But now we have 2 more guests in the studio. And one of them knows what she's doing. She hosts a show here once a month on Fridays. Dodd-Frank.
Yes.
Our own
Well,
very
good
own
morning.
Dodd-Frank.
Yeah.
Okay. And you brought Tracy with
I
you.
did. I brought a friend.
What do you guys do?
What do we? We do a little bit of everything at the Homebuilders Association. I serve as the executive officer, and Tracy is our membership services representative. And Tracy is behind a contest that we're hosting in the month of June that she'll be able to tell listeners all about, build some excitement and momentum for that.
Okay.
And it's all surrounding National Homeownership Month, of which June is.
June is National Homeownership Month.
Yes.
And we work in that business, so we should be promoting it, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely.
All right. Okay, so we have the Bismarck Mandan Home Builders has its National Homeownership Month. It's been declared as so by
Proclaimed yesterday by the mayor of Mandan, and it will
Okay.
be proclaimed shortly by the mayor of Bismarck.
Next
we're official.
This coming Tuesday?
We're official, yes.
I assume. Okay, at the commission meeting. Okay, so but the Bismarck Mandan Home Builders are doing a little promotion on Facebook.
Yes,
and
yep.
Wherever else, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Well, I'd invite Tracy to talk about the promotion that we're doing in conjunction with National Homeownership Month with the support of the North Dakota Housing Finance Agency. So,
Oh, that's me.
Tracy,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you are in on this deal.
Okay. All right. So Tracy, what's up? What are you doing?
Well, in order to bring awareness to the importance of home ownership, we have started a Share Your Housey campaign through our Facebook page. If you're not familiar, a housey is essentially a selfie of you, your family, friends in front of your home. And what we're doing is we're calling on homeowners in the Bismarck-Mandan area to share these houses.
Okay.
You can go to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/BMHBA.
Okay.
You can enter. There is a button you can click on.
Contest, yep,
Contest.
contest button, yep.
Click on that. It'll bring you to a page where you can upload your housey. You can share it. We actually invite you to share our contest with your family and friends because you will be eligible to win a gift card from Hader Glass Specialties, Pacific Sound and Video, and Interiors by France.
Oh, cool.
So we certainly thank all of them for participating. You can win up to a $300 gift certificate.
There's prizes.
Yes, so it's really
awesome.
important
Okay.
to spread the word with your family and friends. Get as many involved as we can, and as many chances as possible to get these awesome gift cards that were so graciously given to us.
Shirley, you have two houses.
Ah,
You can take two
That
houses.
is
Double
two
up.
selfies.
You can have two chances to win.
I took down that site.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So how's it going? Who's taken a housey so far that we might know?
Yeah, well, we have a housey that was submitted by the mayor of Mandan, Mr. Arlen Van Beek.
Okay.
He is picturesque with his family in front of his home.
Cool.
And then we've got different folks throughout the community. One, beautiful photography, which makes us all kind of wonder if there's a photographer in the family, was submitted of a fun family in front of their home in kind of a funny pose with kids in the front and the parents in the background. So we're hoping that people will really have a lot of fun with it. As Tracy referenced, we've got some spectacular support from sponsors, all of which kind of tie into housing and are members of our association. So Hader Glass Specialties, a wonderful opportunity with their gift card to be able to put a new mirror in your home, whether for decor or maybe for necessity in a bathroom. We've got Interiors by France, which has beautiful, beautiful home decor items to decorate your house with. And then finally, our other sponsor,
Pacific Sound and Video has also provided a gift certificate, a great opportunity to get in there, look at some of their home systems, whether it be security or audio video. It's a great way to get in and see what you can upgrade.
So hey, if you're building a house today, you could go take a housey in front of your house that's being built
absolutely.
and get a gift card from one of those places and help you cut the cost of the house.
Complete that house. Yeah, absolutely. So any stage of construction, any home that you have, this isn't just new construction. National Homeownership Month touches and impacts everybody. So whether you're a new homeowner, you're an existing homeowner, you have multiple homes like Shirley has referenced. We've got people that have expressed interest and asked, can I post a picture of myself in front of my cabin? Absolutely. A home is wherever your heart is. And for some people, that might be a little Airstream trailer in someone's backyard, but post those pictures of your houses to our Facebook site and you will be eligible to win one of 3 gift cards.
Okay, and you can do this anywhere in North Dakota, right? We'll take anybody.
We'll take anybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Do they have to be in North Dakota?
No, I mean, for this contest, it's probably a benefit to be in North Dakota because you're going to shop local. We really stress shopping local, and all of our sponsors are local companies, and so you'd be required to come and cash in your winnings at their places of business. So that's really the only caveat. If you're willing to travel here, we'll take you.
We'll take it. All right. That's good. Okay. So what else? What else is the promotion doing? What else? Anything?
Yeah, I'm drawing attention, I think, just to the power of homeownership and the impact it has on a community. Not many people take the time to kind of sit and reflect or ponder anymore, but we encourage you to do so. And when you think about housing, housing extends beyond just satisfying the basic need for a place to live. Housing impacts children and their ability to focus and concentrate on school. If they're in a setting where housing is something that's consistent and secure, that allows them to better focus. Housing is always on the table when we talk about employment. Our community continues to have a lot of jobs available. One of the drawbacks that we've seen to not being able to fill those jobs completely has been access to affordable housing. Again, housing impacts employment. Housing impacts, the visitability of a community. It impacts the type of community you're communicating to the world, whether you're recruiting, fresh young millennials or you're recruiting retirees. And so housing should always be at the forefront of discussions because its impact is so far-reaching. And that's what we're hoping that National Homeownership will allow us to do, is to talk about the impact of housing and how it does benefit everyone that resides in the Bismarck-Mandan area and beyond.
Well, and Shirley and I were just talking how businesses are using this Deal 1 financing to recruit people, because we do have jobs here. The oil is not bust. There are a lot of jobs here and good paying jobs. So, and refinancing student loans will help you afford the house.
And one thing that, we talk about, and in particular it's brought to life during National Homeownership Month, is access to housing across all demographic groups, but in particular, what we're seeing trend-wise from millennials that are entering home ownership. And there's a delay, and largely that delay is attributed to their debt. You have to have a certain debt-to-income ratio in order to qualify for home loans to be a homeowner, and the impact of student loans has been severe on those young adults that want to step out of their parents' basements or from crashing on a friend's couch. And so it's great to see that this morning's program was preceded by conversations about your ability to finance and consolidate those loans, because it has been a barrier to home ownership, which is sad because home ownership leads to so many great things. I mean, it's a true wealth builder for a lot of people across this country, home ownership is, and to delay that opportunity has profound impacts on people as they age. So the sooner we can get them into homes that suit them, homes that they can afford, the better for that individual in the community.
Yeah. Well, speaking of affordability, are we seeing any reduction in the cost to build a house locally?
Yeah, so one thing that's kind of interesting is we follow closely and work collaboratively with the Bismarck-Mandan Board of Realtors. And in watching their numbers for existing home sales, which includes some new inventory, you see that housing continues to appreciate. That's a good thing. You want your house to increase in value. But what's been interesting is, as we've pulled statistics together recently on permits, building permits tied to new construction, we're right at about where we were last year. So that's good news. Our construction season is going nice and strong, and weather permitting, we'll close this year out very healthily for the Bismarck-Mandan community. But one thing that I think is quite interesting is, despite the fact that we're kind of on par with the number of permits pulled for single-family homes, total valuations tied to those permits are down. And it makes you kind of speculate what that reason could be. The reason could be is that, we're able to build more modest homes. Maybe there's a greater demand for entry-level homes, or maybe it's reflective of the reduced cost to builders. A lot of our costs are driven by lot prices and land development costs, but also the labor that goes into it. And as you're seeing contracts released through the cities and municipalities coming in below engineers' estimates, where everybody kind of cheers, I think we're seeing that reflected in the cost of new construction, and that's a good thing for our community.
Okay, so would you say it's labor costs maybe are down a little bit because the builders don't have to pay quite as much to get the qualified workers.
Absolutely. That is what kind of we would deduce from these numbers, you know, and it's, you know, something that you kind of have to step back and kind of contemplate because we don't have any hard statistics. But when you see the permits stay steady, but the overall valuations decline, it leads you to think that houses are smaller.
Okay.
Or the construction costs are starting to come down for us.
Do you think people are going to smaller houses than they were?
You know, it's hard to say. You have a lot of conversation going to high density, small houses, tiny homes.
Yeah.
NAHB, our National Association of Home Builders, doesn't see that pan out statistically. People still want their space, millennials included. Majority of millennials still want to have a detached single-family home with adequate space for their cars and their kids. So it could be a combination of the size of homes as well as the cost of construction.
Okay. Well, we will continue talking about National Homeownership Month when we come back on Dakota Housing Network. Jim, what are we going out on? War. Summer. All right.
Right now, 79.
The Jim Bohannon Show is here. Super Talk 1270.
All right. Dave Flohr, Dakota Housing Network. We are sailing on with The Sailor by the Beach Boys. Okay, Jim. Good pick there. All right. We are in studio with, we got to do. We have a bevy of guests this morning, Jim, don't we?
A bevy of beauteous, trying to think of a B word.
Okay.
Guests.
Be careful.
Babes.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Be
I'm
careful.
a sexist pig. I can say that.
Okay. We got Shirley Glass in the first couple segments, and Shirley decided to stick around with us. She's from the Bank of North Dakota. We talked about the Deal 1 student loan refinancing program with Shirley. And now we have Tracy and Dot from the Bismarck Manhattan Homebuilders, and we are talking about June, which is National Homeownership Month, which is near and dear to our hearts. Okay. So, Tracy, you have a contest going on, a promotion with this. Just give us a brief one again, what this is.
Yes, this is our Share Your Housey campaign.
All
we
right.
want to see your selfie of you, your family, your friends, your dog, anybody in front of your house.
Okay.
And we love, too, that people are throwing in a little comment on what homeownership means to them as well.
Excellent. I want to hear that.
If you want to go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/BMHBA, you can enter our contest to win one of 3 gift cards valued up to $300 from our member sponsors, who we thank very much. Hater Glass Specialties, Pacific Sound and Video, and Interiors by France.
All right.
And
you're saying hashtag.
Yes.
You want to get that across.
Let's use hashtag capital N, capital D, capital H, Housey. ND Housey.
How do you spell Housey?
HNDHOUSIE.
Okay, all right. North Dakota Housey.
Yep, got to do a capital H.
ND Housey.
Yes.
All right.
And we have lots of likes. People have been checking us out, but what we want is we want to see your Housey.
Okay, I have to go take my picture, so.
Yes.
Okay, I will do that.
Take the next step. Take the pic, post. It's your excuse to buy a selfie stick, David.
I don't want one.
Once you have one, you won't want to give it up.
No, I know. I realize I'm on the radio, but people, why would I want a selfie stick? There's no point for it.
So in our office, along with Tracy and myself, we have Terry, who's back down holding the fort right now. She came into the office. She had a selfie stick. We host a lot of events throughout the community, both for the public, but a lot more in addition to that for our members. Anyway, we're always looking for photo ops to share, the events that we're posting with those who are with us or those who couldn't make it that evening. And we have not had a selfie stick. We've done the whole stretched arm reach where you try to cram everybody in and take those photos. Well, Terry came across a selfie stick and she picked one up. She brought it to the office, and I am telling you, it's a blast. It is a blast. The selfie sticks are great. Yeah.
And it will continue to get a lot of use.
Yeah. So this is your excuse. Your excuse to go get a selfie stick. Try it out for the Housey.
Can I borrow yours?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, my arm's not really long, but it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. A lot longer than mine.
Okay. All right. Okay, so it's National Homeownership Month. We got this promotion going, and people can win these great prizes from Hyder, Pacific, and Interiors by France. So, and you could use this on if you're building a house today. If somebody is buying a house and they're not closed on it yet, they could go sneak a picture in front of their house that they're buying before and take that picture and say, "This is going to be our new home." And we'd love to hold a sign up, right, Tracy?
Yes, if this is your first home, it's even more exciting.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you'll want to share with
Yeah,
everybody.
Absolutely. So that'd be great. And these prizes are great. $300 gift certificates to those 3 places. I mean, that's all something you can put in your house. Definitely. Okay, so let's talk. Dot and Tracy are with Bismarck Mandan Homebuilders. What is going on locally that affects home building in Bismarck and Mandan? Got anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, so some of the things that we're following from a, government affairs perspective include the state. Right now, the state is in the process of reviewing amendments that were submitted prior to the adoption of the 2015 building codes. And so communities across the state of North Dakota, many abide by the state's building codes. Some municipalities adopt their own, but most of them follow the state's direction when it comes to building codes. This is the requirements for, how high railings need to be, how your windows need to be installed. The type of framing that's required. All of those things are contained within the International Residential Code, which the state adopts. They're in the process right now of adopting the 2015 building codes. And as part of that process, we have the opportunity as an industry, and so do consumers, to review the changes that are being proposed for the 2015 codes and provide commentary. One of the things that we do on a daily basis is really advocate for our home builders and homeowners. And we are working to make sure that regulations aren't overly burdensome or onerous where they prevent people from accessing home ownership because they drive the cost up tremendously. And so we've got our eye on a lot of those amendments to not only ensure the safety, that's what the codes are intended to protect the home buyers from a safety perspective, but to, again, ensure that they're not overly burdensome. There are some things that we believe in as an association should be discretionary and a choice by the consumer. If they want to have, the extra insulation or the triple pane instead of a double pane windows, that should be a choice based on their financial ability. And so that's what we're working on right now. We also have our eye on Mandan. Mandan at their last city commission meeting took up for discussion their incentive. Mandan currently offers a tax exemption on new construction. So the first $75,000 worth of value on your home is exempt from property taxes for 2 years if you're moving into new construction.
Just the city of Mandan?
Just the city of Mandan.
Morton County, no.
Morton County, no. Burley County does, but theirs are tied to first-time home buyers financing.
You got to use our program.
Yep. And then Bismarck, no. So this is something that's unique to Mandan. And it's something that a lot of people have been able to take advantage of. And what's so interesting, it amounts to, across all taxing jurisdictions, on an average home, it amounts to about, $900 and some odd dollars. So just shy of $1,000, which, you think might not be that much. Some people say, well, that extra $1,000 I could put toward landscaping, or I could put toward, an upgrade in my kitchen, or maybe take a stab at finishing the basement. But for us, $1,000 makes a big difference. NAHB has a lot of studies that support pricing out effects. And what they found for the state of North Dakota specifically is for every $1,000 increase in a home price, you're displacing over 600 potential buyers. Okay. Because we're kind of walking the line when we talk about your debt to income ratios, this generation of home buyers and how they're really kind of held back by their student loan debt, not the income, because they can make the payments. It's just that debt to income ratio that gets a lot of people. $1,000 can make or break the purchase of a home. And so we're closely watching that, and we'll participate and host conversations with the Mandan City Commission regarding that exemption. The other thing that we're keeping a close eye to is the city of Bismarck. They are currently reviewing their stormwater practices and requirements. Again, all of this impacts not only builders but buyers, because at the end of the day, you're the one who is paying for the work that's required as a result to build these homes. So
stormwater, we're talking a new development area.
New development, yep.
And what the builders would have to go in or the developer when they put the infrastructure in, what they have to.
Absolutely. So one thing we're working for is your codes not only protect the home buyers and the homeowners, they protect the environment, which is a good thing. And we are very supportive of an industry of taking care of our environment. And we are good stewards. The builders are very responsible for what they're doing. The stormwater programs kind of specify what you should be doing in order to protect the environment when it comes to runoff. And so that's when you're driving around town and you see those hay bales. They're called wattles.
Yeah.
That's what that's doing. They're diverting water or preventing runoff and the dirt and mud and everything else from going into your storm systems. So they're reviewing that process. And we're particularly concerned with the direction that's going to take, because what we'd like to do is see some increased efficiencies. We're also regulated by the state and the federal government. So it just makes sense that, we're working together to make sure we're not, duplicating requirements or, having requirements that conflict with each other, because time is money when it comes to building. And we have a short season already, so we want to make sure we maximize that time.
So do you run into that where a federal, there's a federal regulation out there and like the local municipality has something that conflicts with that? And
yeah, I mean, so your local municipalities, the federal level sets the minimum standards, and a lot of municipalities can create stronger standards.
Okay.
And so that's, we pay attention to that. But, there's also duplicative paperwork a lot of times. So you have to fill out a permit request for the state. Well, would that suffice to be submitted to the city? So however we can consolidate that work is a good thing for builders and buyers alike.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're getting close to wrapping up here, so I want to say Shirley Glass from Bank of North Dakota, thank you very much for coming in and talking about the Deal 1 refinance program. And they can go to BND's website is probably the easiest spot to go, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's bnd.org. BND. .nd.gov. Okay. And if you have any questions for Shirley, you can get a hold of her at the Bank of North Dakota. And then Dot and Tracy from Bismarck Homebuilders. Let's talk about the Housey one more time.
Housey, Facebook.com/BMHBA.
Okay.
You can click on our contest and share your Housey.
Okay. Take a picture in front of your house and then load it up to the Facebook page and hashtag
ND Housey.
Okay, capital N, capital D, capital H.
Correct.
Housey.
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 That's
NDH
right.
Housey. Okay. NDH Housey. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies, for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay. Jim, what are we leaving on? Just the regular
theme.
stuff? The theme?
The theme.
What theme is that?
Dakota housing theme.
We have a theme?
Yes, we do.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Are we done now?
We are done.
Okay, we're done. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Brian Ritter will be here next week.
All right.
Okay.
Thank